While the truth for weight loss is the key to success, you are inevitably going to be hitting a few roadblocks along the way. The reason for this is due to your slowing metabolism. When you are in a calorie deficit for a prolonged period, your body is going to recognize the pattern and start to slow your metabolism because it thinks you're starving. This is something that is actually a good thing if you are actually starving, as it would prevent you from wasting away to nothing. But because you are not starving, we want our bodies to keep burning fat. Now, there are several ways to do this, but it's first important to know when your body is adjusting and your metabolism is starting to slow. And it's different for everyone. Your first few weeks, you'll be able to get away with calorie counting alone, and you'll lose probably more than your calorie counting app accounts for. Your body's been used to having to carry around and digest way more calories than it needs, so when you cut back on them, your body will easily get rid of excess fat, as it needs to do this to keep functioning properly. And depending on how much weight you have to lose, it could take months for your metabolism to slow. I coached a young woman once who needed to lose about 150 pounds, and she was on the first act of my course with calorie counting only from food she currently eats for about 6 months before we made any adjustment. She averaged losing 2 pounds a week, 10 pounds a month for the first 6 months. Then her metabolism started to adjust, so then we started to adjust. For myself, when I did my transformation video, I was overweight but not overly obese. I lost 70 pounds but really only needed to lose probably 60 as I got very lean at the end. And I found that after the first 2 months I lost 10 pounds each month. But the first week on month 3, nothing changed. So I started to adjust my diet and the progress picked right up again. So depending on the myriad of variables into your unique situation, my advice is to keep going until you see a week where you maintain your weight despite being in a calorie deficit all week. And then mix it up by making small diet changes. But if it's not broken, don't fix it. Remember, you're in this for the long run and you don't want the weight to come back. Roadblocks are inevitable. If you make a lot of adjustments all at once, you'll still hit a roadblock. But then where will you go from there? The strategy is to do one thing at a time until you hit the roadblock. Having said that, there is one false positive in weight loss, and that is water weight. You are 90% water, and your weight can fluctuate by up to 10 pounds per day depending on when you weigh yourself. That's why I recommended you weigh yourself at the same time each day, preferably first thing in the morning. Also, eating certain foods high in carbs and sodium retain water, and you can actually gain weight in a week while still losing fat. But remember, if you're in a calorie deficit, you are burning fat. If your weight goes up, it's just because of water retention, not fat retention, and eventually the scale will come back down because you'll still be losing fat despite what the scale says. And according to the World Action of Salt and Health, eating too much salt causes the body to retain around 1.5 liters of extra circular fluid. If you're a female, water retention may also be due to hormonal fluctuating, such as those occurring before your period. But if you're monitoring your weight in the morning every day, it should be consistent weekly, but may not be necessarily daily. And if you run into a week of non-progress and you don't believe it's water retention, then it's time to mix it up. There are several ways to do this to keep your metabolism going. There's nutrition, meal timing, meal prep, accountability, macronutrients, supplements, sleep, stress, water, and exercise. That sounds like a lot, and it is, but we will be going through them in this act so you can know what to try and when to try it. Remember, you want to keep calorie counting until you hit a wall and then adjust with one of these steps.